They don't make it easy, do they? They never, ever make it an easy watch. West Ham, we did beat Leicester. We beat them 3-2. We're 1 point behind them and they're in third place. We're trying to consolidate that top 4 position. But Dan, I mean, how much stress do West Ham want to put you under? Because to be honest, I thought for 70 minutes, I thought we were very, very good. We worked incredibly hard, minus a couple of injuries. But your thoughts generally on that game, mate? You feeling all right now, or are you still like me, still a bit shaky?
Still processing. I need my health checking after that. I need a general checkup because, mate, honestly, like you said, the last 20 minutes, when Albrighton came on, it changed the game. And, we're never good at fighting pressure, are we? We're never, they showed glimpses of that in the first 10 minutes. I thought they were the better team. Then we started, doing our stuff and showing what we're capable of. And it's just, oh, mate, honestly, we let them play, didn't we, a bit? We let Tielemans get on the ball and Albrighton get on the ball. And obviously, Iheanacho scored 2 as well. So, but we move, mate. We keep on moving. We've seen it out, but 3 times in a row, bloody hell. My heart can't cope with much more, mate. I'm telling you.
Yeah, like I know, was it Kevin Nolan come out and said about cup finals each week, but it does actually at the minute feel like a cup final. And I think, look, Leicester had a couple of injuries today. Maddison for me is the key one. The way that they played, there was no creativity in that middle of the park. And that benefited us massively because it meant that Iheanacho was having to come deep, pick up the ball and trying to create. And it felt like West Ham could deal with that pressure a little bit more. But we weren't. I didn't think going forward for the first maybe 10, 20 minutes we were brilliant. It was very cagey game, mate, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cagey. Yeah, they had a lot of the ball, didn't they? Maddison was a big miss because I know him and who was it? A few of us attended a COVID party, so I think it's disciplinary in it. Roger said, but yeah, Dennis Pratt was involved. He didn't really do much, but the first 20 or so minutes was more them getting on the ball. I thought Fofana for that 20 minutes was really good. I thought Lingard was going to struggle today just because of how well Fofana was managing him. But then, obviously he rotated with Bowen and it worked really well, didn't it? So, yeah,
it was tough. It was tough, and I think I thought we dealt with, relatively speaking, quite well with the runs of Vardy. I thought Vardy had an incredibly quiet game. I thought West Ham's back 5, or what became a back 5, we wanted to press a little bit from the front. You could see it. And I guess, that's what I spoke about in the pre-match, not being too negative in a game like this, but obviously being happy with the draw. But we were able to drop back so quick. We were dropping back incredibly quickly because we knew that they could play it over the top and hurt us. And I think even though Leicester probably on the front foot, maybe first 20 minutes, I wasn't really that concerned. I thought the game was, relatively speaking, in our control, and I felt like the only thing that was missing was a bit of creativity in their half. And I feel like we got that from Arthur. I think we got a few really good crosses down that left-hand side where Marty just couldn't deal with us. And you start to think maybe West Ham are just sort of easing into the game a bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I think Vardy's always struggled against the back 5 because he can't isolate defenders as much as he can in a back 4, and he was quiet today. He's only scored 1 in 18 now, I think it is. So he's on really a barren run of form. He's not himself at the moment. I'm sure he'll come good again because he's a poacher and he's a good player. And he did cause us issues. He was quiet, but he still made them runs behind on the defender's blind side, and they caused Dawson and Diop a few issues, didn't they? But yeah, Masuaku. I'm not going to speak about his performance in the second half, but his first half, I thought he was a threat for us. He was an outlet, wasn't he? He put in a few good balls, and Marty struggled. Owen held it up well as well. So yeah.
I thought that's what was really good, actually. Because I know people get frustrated when, like, Lingard will come to the left, and a bit like how Mickey did when we played that front 2, and you don't really have like 2 forward men. But I actually thought doubling up on that right-hand side of Leicester's was kind of gave us a little bit more of the ball, hurt them. And actually, I think Bowen was onside and he missed the cross. And you're thinking, geez, man, I tell you what, we might be able to catch him off. And I feel like where West Ham got our good moments is when we catch them off in their press. And we did it particularly for that second goal. And it's just, I don't know how we do it. We don't really control games. I thought we were quite composed in possession, which was nice to see. I thought Noble, I'm sure people will talk about him occasionally on that second half towards the end when he went off, was getting a bit tired. And again, I suppose Leicester were putting the pressure on us. But I just thought, generally speaking, we were trying to play out the ball quite composed. I thought Diop Diop first 20, 30 minutes, that my old Diop
You know the story
bias.
with Diop. Yeah, you know the story with Diop, mate.
Yeah, it takes time, doesn't it, mate? It takes time for him to get into games because he gets a bit like, I don't know what it is with him. It's a decision making process, it's a concentration making process, and I don't know. But then I can't absolve him just for everything just because of that. He had a decent second half, and he was a brilliant.
Yeah, he's done well.
It was a brilliant ball. It was a brilliant ball for that second goal for Jared Bowen.
Yeah, I just think Diop struggles against higher pressing teams because they look to implement that high press early on. They were doing it well, but we, like you said, we played it out really well. But in previous seasons, I've been at games and you have two where teams have come high press and we're shaky on the ball. We can't deal with it. But I thought today, with the likes of Vardy, Iheanacho, all running at you, I thought we dealt with it really well and we were composed. And then obviously we settled in, didn't we? And we got the goal.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable finish. It was.
I don't know how it went in. I thought it decided nothing.
Half volley, wasn't it? Like sort of. Yeah. I mean, it's going out because at the time when you watch it, you're thinking, "How's he scored that? Schmeichel's not dive for it, or it's clipped off someone." But actually, the keeper's got no hope, and it come again down that left hand side, comes all the way to Soufal, lays it back. But again, the finish from Lingard is unreal. I mean, this geezer every time I watch him gets better, and it may be not as good a performance as a Wolves or whatever different type of game, but again, mate, he notches up those goals and assists, and he's been brilliant for us this season so far.
Player of the season? Can you nominate a player of the season who started in January?
We might have to. We might have to go down that route, mate. I don't know. He's becoming irreplaceable. I couldn't imagine us playing without him.
Yeah, he's eclipsed Souček and Koufal for player of the season, definitely. It's just his technique, mate. That goal reminded me of a similar volley, wasn't it? You remember he scored against Palace in the FA Cup final?
Yeah.
It's similar technique. He's got that in his locker, hasn't he? And it was just obviously Schmeichel was flat-footed, and he just killed it round a load of bodies and it went in. It was a great goal. It was great technique, and he's got that in his locker. Because I thought he was relatively quiet. They managed him well. Fofana was bullying him about a bit, but he only needs one little sniff, and obviously it was a great ball from Koufal to cut it back, and then it's not an easy finish at all. That it's a very difficult finish, but he's made it look easy. Yeah,
unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I mean, it's just pure technique, isn't it? And I think, we didn't really, particularly with the way that we're playing at the minute, we need space to run into to create stuff. So it was nice for us not to be. We weren't transitioning. We were just trying to get the ball in the box, and then it falls to Lingard, and it's just a bit of quality. We had a brilliant couple of goals on Monday evening, particularly with Antonio's runs and things like that. But actually, just in terms of just pure quality for one player, he turns up. He's a big game player as well for us. Again, we spoke about Leicester's press at times. Felt like for me, I don't know about you, but they press in phases. Like for 10 minutes, there's a high press, and I think after that goal, it was we were getting quite pushed into our own half. We couldn't play out. Diop was struggling a little bit. Nobel had to come in and try and pick the ball up. But I thought, we didn't beat the press. I mean, we did beat the press for the second goal, and people will say it was a hoof up front, but it was an incredibly good pass from Diop. But we were just very composed. I felt like we understood what Leicester were going to do. We clearly done our homework, and we didn't panic. And I think that's what was really, really good to see, because we've got a couple of weeks' time. We've got Chelsea, who will play exactly like that. Yeah. And just to get that mentality in now, I know we're not the best at playing out from the back, and we didn't really play out, but just to keep composure, keep calm, wait for the turns. I think that's a really good sign, mate. All being said, I know we conceded 2 goals, but that was more towards the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, especially against Leicester. Leicester have always, done it. That's what they've breeded their success off, isn't it? Under Ranieri as well. It was that high press. Teams didn't know how to contain it. They've never seen it before for a while. And it's been successful for them for a few years now. But I guess, like you said, mate, it's that that mentality that breeds that confidence as well. We're confident on the ball now. We're confident in keeping it, playing against teams like Leicester and matching them on the pitch, and we've done it. And again, their high press gave us the advantage because it suited us. We like to counter, don't we? We're not a team that's gonna. Well, we are if we're chasing a lead, but we don't necessarily. Our game isn't based around possession football. It's more sucking up the pressure that from the other team, and then countering and suffocating them going forward. And we've done that for all of the goals today, haven't we? So,
no, I agree. And I think like we said, Diop had a bit of a shaky start. I feel like he played through it again. The ball from Diop, I believe he meant it. I'm not going to say he didn't.
God knows, knowing him, I don't know what he means.
Well, yeah, but I got to give him credit. I've given him stick, and I feel that pass is unbelievable. I mean, he's Evans, and again, I thought Evans was getting caught out in trying to play that offside trap.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And Bowen read it perfectly. And I think Bowen had a really good game today, probably one of the most overall complete games that he's had in a long time. Thoughts on the goal, mate, because literally Bowen's beat the offside trap, beaten Johnny Evans, and then it's just a tap in it, really. It's simple as. And it's amazing to think West Ham, we never... how many passes do we need to score a goal? I bet you if you looked at the past couple of goals we've scored, 3, 4, max.
Yep. Don't need to walk it in, do you? Ugly sometimes the best way. No, but Bowen was superb today. I've been a critic of him in the past, but I thought, he adopted really well to that central role. Obviously, he's done it for Hull. He scored 4 in 6 there, or something that Sky said. I think he scored 3 in 3 for the first time in his career in the Premier League as well, obviously, which is a good stat to go off. But no, obviously, it was Lingard's goal, wasn't it? And it was just good composure again, mate, just to pick him out. And Lingard composed himself as well, because he could have easily, whacked it over, couldn't he? But no, yeah, it's just good play, sucking Evans in, because obviously he's naturally a bit slower, so him stepping up is going to take a bit more time. So I thought if that was a tactic that was intended, it was a brilliant game plan by Moyes, and then a good ball from Diop as well for once, But no, credit where it's due. It was a good ball, picked him out superbly, and then it was just good composure, mate, good quality.
Yeah, and we touched on it before the game. Like, I know Maddison wasn't playing and did clearly benefited us quite a fair bit, because I think had he been playing, particularly towards that second half, I think we would have been in a real bit of trouble. But I just felt like we weren't really competing with their midfield. We didn't want to compete, and I think that was the sensible thing to do. Not go out there and press them stupidly. You see Nobes as well tucking in again. Thought we had a relatively decent performance again today. Turned up, really composed in possession, and more important over anything is when he's making those passes, they're accurate passes. He's not being sloppy with them. He's punching them in. That's exactly what you want from Nobes. And I know people don't like it. And I think towards probably 60, 70 minutes, agree, if we had anyone else on the bench with a bit of energy, I would have taken him off. And I think that's always going to be the problem with him. But in terms of on the ball, in terms of what he's doing, I didn't really think he put too much of a foot wrong today again, mate. And he's really stepped up in the absence of Declan Rice. Yeah,
this is the thing that people forget and slate him for, is that he's always built his career off dropping deep, keeping it simple, ticking the game over, getting stuck in, doing the dirty side. But when Moyes came back in, it was more putting Noble as one of the highest players in the, in the pitch, wasn't it? It was about him pressing, and that's not his game. He's in front of the back four, he drops deep to collect the ball, and he just ticks it over nicely, mate, because he's got that ability. And since he's come back in, he's done that, which is refreshing to see. And today he had a good game. It was against one of the best midfielders midfields in the league, wasn't it? Tielemans and Ndidi. But I thought him and Souček dealt with them well. It was more in the second half for me, when Tielemans got more of the ball, could spray it between the lines. That was an issue there, and the breaking the press. But other than that, Nobes was superb.
Yeah, and I think naturally that comes anyway with West Ham 60, 70 minutes. I don't think there's any coincidence why we start to concede these type of goals in that type of time range, because our energy levels, our ball retention, how good we are, how we can draw fouls, it diminishes, and then it puts a lot of pressure under us defensively. And let's just go to the second half, right? So Bowen gets the goal.
Go on,
very good.
Yep.
And what I liked about it actually was how clinical that goal was. People will say, well, Iheanacho, he come deep and he fumbled it. It was great pressure from Chris, from left-sided centre-back, playing a high line at times. You don't play a high line against teams like this at times, you'll never get anything. So it was good to see that. And then the fact that the ball straight in left-hand side, comes Souček, the composure to get his head up, which I've always said, I think probably past couple of weeks been a bit guilty of trying to play that safe pass, not getting his head up and looking. And Bowen the finishing sublime, because when you watch that again, Fofana's come sliding in. And also the fact that it's almost come between his legs and through the keeper. Because, if Fofana could have got anything on that, could have been saved. But the fact that, again, maybe lucky, but he took his finish really well, mate. And that just added to Jarrod Bowen's game today. I thought he was tremendous. And it looks like the heavens have opened up in praise of Jarrod Bowen himself.
Yeah, no,
There you
he,
are.
no, it was a complete performance from him, wasn't it? Obviously, he's used to that role, and he's built for it as well. Isn't he? He's quite strong. He's good technically. He can link up play, and a lot of players for me would have snapped at that chance because obviously Fofana there, he's under a lot of pressure to take it, but he's controlled it, and obviously he's on his stronger side as well, and he's just slotted it past the keeper, and it's a good finish. And then from that moment on, mate, I thought, you know what, we probably wrapped it up here.
Yeah,
How
I thought like that.
how wrong was I, mate? Because as soon as we went 3-0 up, I thought, oh, yeah, we're comfortable. Then they go and form, don't they? So
Yeah, it's you see it coming because of the fatigue naturally, and I think squad depth. I try and keep away from it because I think you can go into the board and everything. And
yeah,
we know there's a reasonable argument there. West Ham fans know there's no need to bring it up again, but you just feel in games like this where there isn't that bit of energy, and I'm not talking just about physical energy. I think the problem you've got, and it's no disrespect or even a criticism of Lingard and Bowen, is they're not hold up players, which is why I thought Bowen at times today was brilliant because he was drawing the foul. And if you can't hold the ball up, if you can just nick something and take the momentum out of the game, that's kind of what we need when we go 3-0 up. Now, granted, how many times have we gone 3-0 up this season? We've gone 3-0 up now 3 times in the past 3 games. So it's almost a management side of things, at concentration level. But I thought Arthur Masuaku, who had a decent game, again, you can't do that. You
no,
can't do that in games like this in the situation that we're in. You can't give the ball away across your box where there's nothing on. There's no. I know there's a guy running at him, but in truth, he's got options. He could kick it out. He could do anything with it. But to play it back across where Iheanacho's in behind, who I thought today was really intelligent in some of the movements, mate. You can't do that, mate. And I think that's always been the criticism of Arthur in terms of being a bit too silly in deeper areas.
yeah. No, the thing is, he's a good player, and that's why he's not a defender, mate. Because he fancies about with it.
Yeah.
Basically, he does all this fancy stuff and just keep it simple. For their first goal, he didn't keep it simple. Ricardo pressured him well. Obviously, you know the rest. But no, that's the criticism of him for me is that he's very good at getting out them tight areas because he can do it. We've seen him do it before. But he doesn't need to do it in our own half, mate. When they're looking, to get players up the pitch and chase a lead, he can't do it. Just play it simple, That's my only criticism. I thought he was good, but I thought in the second half, my near heart attack was because of him. To be honest, because that's where they look to take advantage. Obviously, bring Albrighton on to go against Masuaku, and it worked. It worked as a game plan, and they nearly got something out of the game because of it.
Well, it stops you with the outlet, doesn't it? You can't get Arthur to press out as much. He's under a serious amount of pressure, and again, because there's limited options up front at that stage. It's not like you can sort of relieve yourself and get it to the front man, and that's where you miss a Mickey. That's where Mickey does become important. I know he starts blowing anyway at 60, 70 minutes, so maybe it's not the best argument to make, but we just I don't know what it is. I can't be critical because let's be honest, if you're scoring 3 goals against Arsenal, Wolves and Leicester, you're doing something right. But at the same time, you've got to manage it. And I think you saw Moisey growling on the sideline. You can tell he's not happy with it. Craig Dawson was not happy with Arthur. When that goal went in, he was fuming. He was like, come on, mate, you're not playing that pass. And it's annoying because you feel like maybe we turn a bit of a corner, like playing it composed and punching it in and keeping the ball nicely. And then that happens. And then all of a sudden it feels like, oh, here we go again.
That's the thing, mate. Masuaku is very good when he plays it simple. Like he's a good player. He can pick out a pass. He can do all this, but he just doesn't do it. He decides to do a skilled and showboat, which we know he's got his locker. But there's a time and place, isn't there? So
he's so good. He's so good when you're pressing high because he can beat a man, and he gives you like another winger. And it's brilliant for that and beating a man and breaking lines and playing it in the box. Brilliant. And his crossing today was fantastic. Like I can't really complain. But it's in that defensive half that he's just got to, I don't know what it, like you say, play the simple pass. You don't need to play out from it. It's not necessary. And I think where I feel a bit more confident going forward, again, if you're giving Arthur a bit of slack, he's only come back in the last game and he played again today. And he's coming back into the fold, and there's things like match fitness, but you look at Nobes out there.
Fitness, though, mate. That's mentality, in it. That's decision making.
But what I mean is the way that we've played this season in terms of our mentality, which you see today. I'm not saying he's not privy to it, but he's not in that first 11 where they're going, you're not doing that pass, you're not playing that pass. You see what I mean? So I'm kind of hoping, because I think it's happened with a lot of players where we're improving that decision making. And I'm hoping they pull him up after the game, Nobes and Dawson, and say, listen, mate, obviously we're going to play Newcastle. None of that. Because I think he can have a field day against Newcastle going forward. But defensively, he's got to have a word with himself.
Yeah, against Almiron St. Maximum, he's struggling, isn't he? But yeah, I think that also reinforces our need for a left wing back as well, maybe.
Really?
Maybe, yeah. I've said to you all along, mate, I don't think he's good enough to, to play there. Not every week. I'm not criticising him, but I don't know, mate. I don't think he's the best defensively. Honestly, I think he's better as an option off the bench. I'm not saying it after just one game and one mistake and one bad half, but I think, if you want to push on in Europe and get Champions League or whatever, you need a better left wing back than Masuaku. I think he's very good going forward. But, as the comment says there, he's a defensive liability. And Johnson's clearly, not ready yet, is he? So for me, it reinforces our need for a left wing back. I'm open to, criticism on that. That's my opinion, but
yeah. I get what you're saying. That I just kind of look at Masuaku and I think, can that ability get coached into him? I'm not talking defensively, because I don't think he's bad pressing. I don't think he's bad in terms of
his positional sense, mate, as well.
It is, but if he's not playing a natural left back and he's sort of, and we're not playing that deep, then I think he's okay. And I think in games, Johnson's clearly the better defender, positionally 1-to-1, of course.
Yeah,
but I just for a player that's that good going forward from the position that he's in, I kind of just hold a bit of hope. Maybe Moyes with the team, you look how he's got the likes out of Dawson, you would never expect it. Maybe I'm being naive, because maybe you can't coach that out of someone. Maybe he just is a forward man, and that's what he is.
I get your point. Yeah. To be fair, though, as well, on your point, Moyes' first spell, Masuaku was one of the best players under him, wasn't he? He probably was one of the first names on the team sheet, but that would have been coached into him by now for me. I think he would have had it. It's that knack, isn't it, of being, Dawson's clearly had that instinct before he arrived. Yeah. He just needed a bit of confidence and that platform to show it. For me, Masuaku's had a few years and he's not really improved that much defensively.
If that's the case, though, I would seriously start to looking at transitioning him to like a left-hand sided attacking midfielder or a winger. Because if we're getting to this point now, because West Ham anyway, when we play 4-2-3-1, our wide attacking midfielders come back anyway, so you can play that role. But I think long term, there's a player there. Just get the right stuff out of him, and I think he can be really useful for us going forward.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying sack him off, because he's a very good player and I really like him. He offers something different, doesn't he? He's very exciting as well. I just don't know if you convert him to a left winger or further forward if he's got the final third decision making either. You know what I mean? It's a utility player, mate. He's like a Stuart Dallas, isn't he? For the Leeds.
Dallas is a little bit more reliable, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's not making stuff like that.
He's not got a prime position. He's not. Do you know what I mean? He's more of a utility player that you bring on and that is good squad depth. But for me, he's not a regular starter, especially if you're coming up against tricky wingers in the Champions League. And that was Marco Brighton today. Today. To be fair, Marco Brighton's a very good player and always has been. But he's about 34, mate, and he's not got a lot of pace, and he struggled against him. So that speaks volumes. I'm not saying Masuaku's a bad player, because he's a very good player. But
I'll probably get more stick for trying to stick up for him, if I'm honest. Because I just look as a player, he's brilliant on the ball. Like, he keeps the ball.
He's one of the best in the squad on the ball. Yeah, he's one of the best in the squad, mate. Yeah.
I think it's just the way that we are at the minute with the injuries, like you're saying. If you can bring someone like Arthur on it later in games to go and press high, gives us an outlet, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Or you play him further up. We're limited at the minute because of the squad injuries. It's ridiculous. I think Ben Johnson come in, didn't he, for Nobes towards those last 10 minutes, and he playing in that central position because maybe he's played centre back once or twice. So it's really hard. It's a tough one.
I get what you mean, mate, because I get your faith as well. I have that because you can clearly coach it into him. Moyes gets the best out of, Lingard, who was written off before he even came here by some people, me partially included in that.
Yeah, me as well, mate.
Dawson as well. Kufal and Souček, we knew nothing about. They were cheap signings. We thought, they'll fill a gap, but they won't be They won't go on to be great players, but they have been. And obviously, there's plenty of other examples in there as well. So in terms of Moyes getting the best out of players whose careers need reviving, he can definitely do that. So yeah, we got to hold on to some, cling on to that bit of faith.
Do you know, I think the biggest misses of today and of the last month, Angelo Ogbonna. I'm telling you now, if Big Angelo is in that defence, that ain't happening. I'm telling you, that second goal is not happening at all. You cannot let that ball run across like
it's Balbuena. It's Balbuena, in it for me.
Well, Balbuena come on and look shaky. If I'm honest, I think a couple of decent headers, and we know he's decent in the air. Positionally, I think there's always been a bit of a concern. Does he come out too quickly, spacing behind? But for me, when you see crosses like that. That doesn't happen earlier in the game, though.
Is it a good cross, though, mate? Is it a tough one to defend?
It is, but I just feel that I feel like it's fatigue. I think it's mental fatigue. I look at it and say we played really well. If you watch us again, and I'll watch the game again tomorrow, so I've got a better view on things when I'm not having half a heart attack. But when you're dropping back as a back five as we did, it's intelligent, it's clever. But to do that for 90 mins, and also to be in that last 20 minutes when you've already done that and then still have to concentrate and switch on, it's tough. And I just feel Angelo Ogbonna does the thinking for other people. He does the thinking for Diop. He does it for Balbuena. It doesn't happen. I thought Dawson had a good game again today. But I think Angelo comes in and that bit of experience we need. But I can't look past not only him, squad depth. Another centre midfielder in today, I don't think it happens either.
No, and the thing is as well with Oggy coming back, that it elevates Dawson's game, doesn't it? The players around, because he's a one-man defender. He's a brick wall, isn't he? So him reading situations on his own makes Dawson a better player. Because I think since Oggy's been out, Dawson's game has deteriorated slightly because he's got more responsibility on his shoulders. Do you know what I mean? But I thought Dawson was very good today. Some
players, I'm just looking at it, don't suit that role. Some players, take responsibility for other players. Declan's a perfect example where he's a natural leader. Whereas Dawson's a bit more, I think he likes Angelo alongside him because they trust each other. And I think that's a massive part to play. I think Diop, I'm not going to make you still young because someone said that today. He was 24, 25. Again, if you're 25 and you're still being a bit rusty or you're still not concentrating, that worries me as a centre-back. That probably does my argument for Masuaku because he's probably the same age. But
27, isn't he?
Yeah, well, definitely, yeah, exactly. So, but I just feel like getting Angelo back in that side, getting back in that defence, we don't make some of those mistakes. Even if it's just marshalling the midfield in front of him, just feel we're dealing with situations like that a bit more. And look, maybe this experience is good for us. I'm not saying for the fans, but for the squad, just to go through these type of games and learn game on game how to deal with it. Because if we are capable of getting 3 goals early doors in games, then we've got to sort out how we manage it towards the back end of games as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's game management, isn't it? That's what Moyes will be most annoyed about over the course of the last 3 games. Arsenal throwing it away, Wolves nearly as well. And today, it's about containing the pressure, and dealing with that, which we've done well this season, But like you said, mate, once Ogbonna comes back in, that naturally for me doesn't happen. These comebacks don't happen. And that's a good point as well. Yeah, from Simon. Do you think, mate, that Oggy's like 32 now? Cresswell's not getting any younger. Masuaku, obviously today, there's warning signs. Diop, like we've said before, if he's 25 by now, would he be improving on his game? Would he be that? Do you think we need another centre back in the summer?
I think we'll go for it. I don't know. I think the problem we've got is Alves is clearly the guy to go and step up into that because I can't imagine us go. I don't think that'll be a priority position. Balbuena's leaving. Alves is constantly on the bench. And we know that Moyes brought him in January. So we know that he's someone that he's keen on and he wants to progress. But he's also young. And I don't know whether it's to do with age or whether it's to do with mentality or, with John Stones the other day, I think maybe for England and again for Manchester City, so comfortable in his technical ability, or he feels that he is, that he's way too composed. Whereas Craig Dawson looks like a player that he knows his limitations, and maybe that comes with age, but he just plays the ball simple, he plays it long. And I just feel like with Diop, he feels like he's big and he's strong and he's quick and he can't get outfoxed, but he can get it nicked off, especially against teams that press. Now, luckily, Newcastle won't press, so maybe Diop's all right in the next game, but I just feel that going forward, Moyes has got to coach it into him. You know what I mean? It can be coached in. I think Alves may be okay if he's got Big Angelo, Creswell, players like that around him that are giving him that confidence and marshalling him. But again, when you're at the top end competing like we are, mate, it's criminal. If we were 10th, would we care? We would care, but we wouldn't be like, oh, this is really, really bad. But when the margins are that, and we're in the top 4 race,
we're a big boy now, mate. Yeah, we can't afford that players anymore.
We're no more relegation battles, mate. Do you know what I mean? I think it was actually less stressful in a relegation battle than it was in a top 4 challenge because we know the pressure's on us and we know we've got to perform.
That's the thing, mate. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, go on, lad. Go on, have your say.
Cheers, mate. I'm being serious here. If a good offer came in for Diop, I would. I'd let him go because if he was the player, if he was the player we signed him for, mate, I was very excited when we signed him because I thought, he was captain at Toulouse at 20, 21, 22. I thought, yeah, he's going to be a top player. And he is still a good defender, but for where we want to go and our aspirations over the next few seasons, though I think David Moyes will want to keep him with the progression of Alves as well, and maybe even the likes of Baptiste, Elise. Do I think David Moyes wants to keep him and make him a part of that? If an offer came in, probably not. Probably not.
I would be inclined to agree with you about Diop. And I know it's a bit hypocritical with the Masuaku thing, but I just feel like Diop is too inconsistent. Even when he plays a run of games like he has, I don't see huge improvements. And I feel that he's been here for 3 years. So
3 years, yeah.
If he's not developing that in his game, then again, and it's not just that. I think we've improved as a back 5 or a back 4, but I think again it's him in possession, it's distribution, take out today. There's a lot of things where he's a raw talent. Everything about him screams should be a really difficult to beat defender, but everything has to be his way. He has to go out and win the ball. West Ham have got to be on the front foot. West Ham are a high press, high line side. It would work, but I don't think it can work long term. So I would look, if an offer did come in for him, I would look to ship him on. But equally, I would also trust Moyes if he believes in him and he thinks he can make the step up. Then I'd have to go with David's opinion because he's been spot on so far.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, but one of the rumours before Moyes even came that he was looking to get rid of some deadwood and Diop was part of that. I'm not sure. But I think as well, mate, we signed Diop. How much did we sign him for? About 22 mil, was it? A lot of money. We signed him basically. This is what you do in football. You sign a young player. You look to get a bit of resale value on him. That's what we thought. We thought he's a talent here. We'll snap him up. Sorry, in a few years he'll progress rapidly. Spurs will come in, offer 50 mil like they were gonna the other season, and we make 25 million profit on him. That's what he was there for. That's what we signed him for. Partly.
You think? Do you not think they had do you not think they had a kind of? Well, I know what you're saying. You're saying that he was potential, and if West Ham could get something out of him, then he becomes an asset. I do. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah, partly. Yeah, partially. I'm not saying that's wholly the idea and the concept behind signing him, but it's definitely part of it because that's what modern day football is. You sign a player that's young, you develop him, and you'll make profit on him maybe. But obviously teams like Man United can afford to fend off clubs. And so can we now, to be fair, because we're a big dog, we're in Europe now. But
well, on that note, mate, Chris, what are you talking about losing one of these geezers for? Like we're bigger than some of these other clubs at the minute. Biggest club in London, mate. I think Rice would be. Nah.
Oh no, sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah. So, sorry, mate.
No, you got it wrong. Wrong answer.
Sorry, mate. No. Yeah, obviously Rice. I think Souček's a very good player. I didn't think he had his best game today, if I'm honest.
Do you not?
No.
I thought it was a good game. I thought
it was better played.
Yeah, but his recovery tackles for I think it was Dennis Pratt when he's about to make that shot and he got back in time. I thought he was really good for that.
Yeah, I thought
he was there. He was there when you needed him to be. He played deeper today anyway. We said that before on Thursday that he might have to play deeper to cover for Nobes, and I thought he did his job better. Maybe it's because of the type of game, mate. Maybe he is getting forward against Newcastle, and we're seeing more of him.
Oh, probably, yeah. He'll net 3 next week now, won't he? But
I don't want to see 3 goals for West Ham ever again, mate. To be honest, 2-0 will do me.
I'll scrape a 1-0 to be honest. But to answer that question, it'd be Rice, wouldn't it? Definitely.
Yeah, of course it would. Of course it would. Today,
you seen the jokers United saying, "Oh, we'll offer Lingard and a few quid to sign Rice."
I've recorded a video
Oh,
about
mate.
that, and I haven't put it out because it's probably not the right time because of all the build-up stuff. But I am not happy with Chelsea or Man United talking about it. The way they talk about it, like, I'll give you a bit of money and we'll give you... Shut up. Like, at the end of the day,
like he's worth 13 mil.
He walks into Man United and Chelsea. Don't give me all that when you're sitting there going, we'll give you Tammy in a bit. And then what they'll do is they'll go, yeah, but he's going. Well, I don't care if he's going, mate. You're paying your money like everyone else does. It's not like, oh, because he plays for West Ham. No, he plays for England. He's an international. He's captain of West Ham. If he plays today, maybe it's 3-1. Maybe it's 3-0. Do you know what I mean? I know Declan played against Arsenal, but I just think that the legs in there, it's an unbelievable talent. We know it.
The thing is,
we don't have other clubs to say it.
Well, the thing is with Deck is what people don't see is that people, StatPad, they judge players on goals, assists and all that, don't they? Nowadays, especially even for a midfielder, they do as well, or tackles and that, or whatever. The stats are a big part of the game now. But the thing is, you don't realise how good Declan Rice is until he's part of your team. United won't realise how good he is if they sign him and he's part of their team. They won't sign him anyway because we're bigger than United. I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? I'm waffling, mate, but
no, that's right, mate. Anil's telling you got it wrong. There's no right. You got the right. No, I know what you mean. But it was an okay assist. It was good for him to be composed in possession.
No, it was intelligent. Yeah, it was intelligent. Yeah.
But I think we're seeing that anyway. Like the way we're playing. Look how hard it is for us to, even with Nobes in there, how hard it is for us to control games and try and deal with teams and the way we have to set up. We've had to set up a completely different way. All right, we haven't got a like-for-like replacement, but we know the role that Souček and Declan do is unique. The same way that what Mickey does is unique. There's not many players. That's why we talk about Patson Daka, because of how complete he is as an overall forward. You know, West Ham, there's no doubt that the reason why we're so good and why people look at us and think, how are West Ham doing that well? You've got players that can play out of their skin that do more than just a centre midfielder or a striker. And Declan's probably the best example of that, particularly when he slots in between the two centre-backs and we can play a bit of a higher line.
Exactly, mate.
Top draw. I just want to give a couple of mentions today for some of the performances that we saw from... Again, I thought Lucas Fabianski was tremendous, reading the ball. I don't think at times Leicester wanted to beat that press and beat that line, and they did, and he switched on, and he was there. And exactly, that's why Fabianski's a top-class goalkeeper, because even when he's not directly under pressure or he's not getting shots on goal, he reads it. He reads the game, and that's where the experience comes from. And listen, I know we want Sam Johnston in the summer, and it'd be brilliant for one season to have Fabianski and Johnston as your number one and number two. But mate, Fabianski, he's pivotal, isn't he? And he got the captain's armband as well when Nobes went off, so it shows you the kind of influence he's got.
Yeah, exactly. He arguably won us points today, didn't he? He was superb again. Loads of times we've said that, you know, since he signed, but. Yeah, no, he's won us points over the years, and he's just that commanding figure, and very good at reading the game as well, isn't it? I think that's, you know, that's come with his age, obviously, reading the game, being more experienced, and he's been obviously a great keeper for us anyway, and today he was pivotal as well. He was pivotal to the performance, the 3 points, because without him, it might not have happened.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull up what Mark said about Nobes. It's a brilliant block, by the way. It is unbelievable. He's made that.
It's a great block.
He reads it really well. I hope he hasn't broken his wrist. But I thought it was interesting how Nobes actually still kept playing on, even though he was in absolute agony. And I was like, mate, that's what you want in games like that. You know, players to step up. And I know people criticise Noble a fair bit, but honestly, mate, like, he knows what it means. And I think his leadership as well has gone under the radar. I know you can talk about his legs and things, but like you said earlier, mate, he's never been a quick player anyway. He's always just been intelligent. And when he does what he's good at, passing, keeping the ball, keeping the tempo, then he gets applauded. So, really good performance for his 400th game.
Yeah, obviously it's a special landmark for him, isn't it? Talked about before the game when he made his debut against... Was it Blackburn? And he walked back after with his missus. Walked back from the ground, which he wouldn't do now. But I thought he was superb. Like Chris said there, his energy levels, you know, were really good again. And that block is is a match-winning block. It's superb. Just hope he isn't, injured for too long or whatever from that. But I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll sleep on it, mate. He'll be all right.
Yeah, have some. What's it called? Have some cowpole. That'll sort it out, Mark.
What's that muscle rub called in that red tube? Is it something heat muscle?
DP. You ever play Sunday League?
You'd be sound, yeah.
DP used to get on my ankles all the time, man. Yeah, Nose will be playing in a. I love this one. Karate plastered from now. He wouldn't know, wouldn't he? And Nose would go out there with a face ball. But really good. I mean, look, Happy Hammer says it here. Look, only 8 players to play over 400 or over in the Prem.
He's in a list with Lampard, Gerrard, Giggs, illustrious list, mate. So, credit to him.
And he's turning up when it matters. And what I will say to end this is how proud it is as a West Ham fan to watch this team play. I know that they give us nightmares and heart attacks left, right, and centre, but they gave it there. They're playing out their skin. It's like the walking wounded out there at the minute. Players off and we're missing key players, and we won't be beaten. Like, we just keep turning up. We're one of them people. Like, they want us to go away and they want us to fade, but we just won't go.
Exactly.
Don't know what it is, man.
No, and I saw on Twitter. Listen, it said it's refreshing to watch the Burnley Newcastle game without being worried about it. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, previous years we've relied on that result, to define our season, haven't we? But now we're competing with Leicester. We're beating Leicester, and now we're looking at the Spurs United game to see who gets a result there to impact our Champions League push. So it just shows how far we've come. There's no limits. And listen, people can write us off all they want. They can put the predicted top 4 in there, not include us. That's fine. But David Moyes will just prove you wrong, laugh in your face, mate. So that's fine.
Yeah, like we are, and it sums it up. Mentality is under Moyes has been absolutely excellent, and I think that's and that's the thing. Even as a fan, like, I know, take the 3 goals out of it because it's becoming a bit of a joke at the minute and a bit of a sort of like running sort of theme. Here we go, 3-0 up. It's all going to fall apart. But it's lovely as a fan to watch us and think, listen, we'll find something in this game. Like, we'll figure something out. The players will do something, and you can tell the players believe that as well. Like, they're not. When we lost Mickey. When we lose Mickey and we don't have a striker, I get it. I understand why people panic. But I always feel like we can get something. I know we haven't been getting set-piece goals recently, but I just feel like we've got something there. And if we can just get Declan and Angelo back soon, we can make a push. We can honestly make... Don't write us off. Look at the games. Newcastle, Burnley, West Brom, Brighton. I think Everton's in there, Southampton. Don't write us off. Because I'm telling you now, if any side's going to do it and keep going along like we are, it's us. It's us this season, because people need to put some respect on our name a little bit here, because we've got the worst squad depth in the league. We've got injuries left, right and centre, but we turn up. And that's the difference between us and Tottenham.
Exactly. Well said, mate. No, yeah. That's it, isn't it? That comment sums it up perfectly. It's the mentality. That's where our success stems from this season. It's not, like you said, we haven't got the best squad depth in the world. But it's the fact that Moyes has instilled this belief, and obviously, like you said before, he wants players that have personality on and off the pitch. He doesn't just want players that, turn up on the pitch and not in training and are quiet and blunt as anything. It's about the personalities in training as well, showing, having them relationships with the players, bouncing off each other. And that's a group we have now. They're not dysfunctional. They're together group, they're really united, as it says, West Ham United, and Moyes has done that. Moyes has instilled that, and it's a credit, to be fair. I don't want the season to end, mate, but next season we'll have all the fans back. We'll all be back there. Napoli at home, mate.
Me and you'll be on the beers with our Mark Noble shirts on, giving it his last
Mark Noble
season.
Masks on, all that, mate.
Can't wait, man. But on a serious note, it'd be great to get back in there just because of the way that the team's playing. And we play like we play. Like, that's what West Ham fans want to see in it. A bit of passion, hard work, and you see your team do that. I think that's all we've ever asked. But the difference is we've got end product as well. And that's where the difference has been between us being top 10 and top 4. And we're 1 point off Leicester. So, again, talk about your Chelseas and your Liverpools, but West Ham certainly will stay there.
Listen, yeah, exactly. And like that comment says there, if you don't run, you don't play. That was one of the first things that Moyes wanted as soon as he came back. He wanted runners. He knew what West Ham was about. He knew the history of the club. Effort isn't a lot to ask, mate. Effort on a football pitch. They get paid a lot. Put a bit of effort in, run about on a pitch. show us that you care, and these players do. You know, I'm sure when we go back, mate, we'll see a substantial difference between the team we last saw when we were there and the team now. A massive difference, and that's down to David Moyes, the players, the backroom staff, not the owners. Sorry, but yeah, and just building off there, and if we get the players in the summer that Moyes wants, and
who
build
knows?
from there.
Who knows, man?
Lifting that Champions League trophy, mate. Like that, lifted it up, mate.
Do you know what? I'm looking forward to the end of the season, man. I know they're putting me through the ringer at the minute, but it's been a pleasure to watch them this season. And mad how this whole pandemic's going off, and West Ham suddenly turn up, and probably the best season we've had in my lifetime.
Typical, innit? That they do it when we're not there. But I can't complain, to be honest.
Says everything, doesn't it, really? He's West Ham.
That's West Ham in a nutshell, isn't it? Yeah. No thanks here. Yeah, we'll play our best football. We have the best season we've had since '84. Yeah, typical. But listen, long may it continue. Keep proving the doubters wrong, and the sky's the limit. See how far we can go, and get in that top 4.
Lovely notes to round it off. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, man. We've chewed the fat on it. We've done it. We'll be back again on Thursday. We're previewing the Newcastle game. I'm looking forward to being a little less tense for that one. I feel like West Ham.
West Ham. So,
well, I mean, just don't score 3 goals, West Ham, and make it a 2-1 rather than a 3-2, because I think it's becoming a little bit much for us. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Drop a like before you leave on the stream. It does help, makes it be seen by everyone. And everyone wants to see West Ham fans having a lovely time at the minute and discussing everything that's kicking off at the minute. But yeah, no, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll be back this week. We're going to get you predicted 11s as ever. Me and Dan will do the preview show, loads more stuff as well. And then we'll have the watch along on Saturday. 12:30 on a Saturday. You don't even have to wait long. I don't even have to wait long. Dan will be just staring at his phone.
We'll be cheesing on his crisps in bed.
He'll be having his cheese and sour cream and chive Pringles out. I think, got to do a review show in a minute. But yeah, we'll be back this week. Loads of stuff coming out. I might even put out that Tammy Abraham video, me talking about Chelsea fans banging on about, what is it? Declan Rice swap rumours, because I got the ump in that, so maybe you'll have the pleasure of viewing that.
Mate, don't let it affect you. Don't let it affect you, mate.
It's on nerves. Gets under my skin. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Drop a like. Last thing, all 43 of you, it's going up, so I know you're liking. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. West Ham are top 4. Come on, you all.